Alright guys, today we're going to learn how to warm up and how to cool down. Now before we start, does anyone here play sports? Okay. Now before a game, do you go from just sitting down to playing, or do you do something else? You do something else, right. You warm up. Now does anybody here know why we warm up? You don't get hurt. Yep. Anybody else? Okay, well that's a start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you, with your PE notebooks, I'm going to have you jot down the 5 reasons I give for why we warm up. All I want you to do is write down 2, and what we'll do at the beginning of every class is we'll go over those reasons until eventually we can remember all 5, okay? So the first reason that we warm up, like we just said, it reduces injury. The second reason that we warm up, it promotes better blood flow. Okay? The third reason that we warm up, you get better performance. The fourth reason that we warm up, it prepares you mentally for what you're going to do. And finally, the fifth reason, you have better range of motion, better flexibility. Okay? So write those down. And like I said, at the beginning of every class, we'll go over these until eventually we can remember all 5. So to start warming up, what I'm going to have us do is for 5 minutes, we're going to run or we're going to walk. But the most important thing is that we move continuously during all those 5 minutes. Okay? I'll get my timer going. And go. Okay, now for the sake of time, I'm not going to stand here for 5 minutes. I'd watch my class warm up, and then when they're done, I'd continue the lesson. Okay, now that we got our jog done, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you grab your PE notebooks, and you're going to partner up, groups of 2, okay? All right, partnered up. Okay, so now that we've got our bodies a little warmer, we got the blood flowing, now we're going to do some dynamic stretching. What dynamic stretching does is it mimics the movements that we do in sport and in life. Okay? So if you open up your PE notebook, the first picture that you'll see in your notebook is what I call a butt kick. Now, what do you notice in this picture? Yes? Yep, exactly. Yep, her heel's high. Where does it seem like her heel is moving towards? Her butt, exactly. So in this movement, we're going to bring our heel up as high as we can towards our butt, and we're going to do it rapidly, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate this for you, and I'll break it down from beginning to end, okay? So when I start, my feet are going to be under my hips, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rapidly kick my feet up towards my butt. If they don't kick your butt, that's okay, but we want to aim for as full of a range of motion as possible. And I'm going to move my arms too, okay? Ideally, we would do this for 30 seconds. I'm going to demonstrate for you. Again, watch my heels come up towards my butt. And at the same time, you'll notice my thighs, which is the area that we're going to stretch. We're going to stretch our quadriceps in this. My thighs are also coming back with me, okay? So I'm not just bringing my heel up like this. I'm actually kicking my heel back, but my thigh is following too. And that's going to give us a greater stretch in our quadricep, okay? So it'll look something like this. I'll show you from the front, and I'll show you from the side. Okay, I'm going to catch my breath. Any questions so far? No? Okay. What we'll do is now we'll do it together, okay? And as you're doing your butt kicks, I want your eyes on me, all right? Just to get a better visual, and if I see anything that needs to be worked on, I'll point it out, okay? All right, let's go. Good, heels a little higher. Good job with the thighs back. Okay, great. All right, catch your breath. Whew. You guys look good. All right, what we're gonna do next is with your partner, I want you to work together. One person will work, one person will provide feedback, okay? So as the person who's watching lets their partner know what they're doing correctly or doing wrong, I'm going to walk around and I'm going to work with whoever needs help. Okay? Go! Now, for the sake of time, I have 5 dynamic stretches listed. I'm not going to show how I teach all 5. Instead, I'm going to use that one, and then that's how I would teach the rest of them. Okay. So now that we've learned how to warm up, now we're going to learn how to cool down. Does anyone know why we cool down? Okay, that's all right. So just like with our warm-up, I'm going to give you 5 points. I want you to write them down in your PE notebook, and I want you to remember 2 of them. And again, at the beginning of every class, we'll go over these until eventually we can remember all 5. Okay? So, first point, it's going to bring our blood pressure back to normal. Okay? Second point, it's going to reduce our heart rate. It'll bring that back to normal. Third point, it's going to reduce lactic acid buildup. Fourth point, it's going to reduce muscle cramps. And the 5th point that we have, it will maintain our full range of motion. Okay? So when we're working out, when our blood gets in our muscles, sometimes they feel a little tight. By stretching them out, we'll maintain that full range of motion. Okay? So now, just like what we did with our warm-up, we're going to jog again, except this time we're only going to go for 3 minutes. And if you need to walk, that's fine. Again, the most important thing is that we move. Okay, ready? Go! Again, for the sake of time, I'd watch them cool down with their jog, then I'd continue my lesson. Okay, partner up with your original partner. Grab your PE notebooks. And now I'm going to show you static stretching. So, if you're trying to go to bed at night, do you jump around like what we did with our dynamic stretches, or do you relax? You relax, right? So that's what static stretching does for us. It relaxes our bodies, and it gives us the other benefits that I listed earlier. Okay? So, for the first static stretch that I'll show you, if you open your PE notebook, the next picture in there will be a quadricep stretch. Okay? Now again, what do you notice with the heels in this picture? Exactly, they're by the butt again, all right? And the thighs, are they out in front? Are they under their hips or behind? Under or behind, right? Exactly. So, this stretch is very simple, and it's similar and different to the dynamic stretch. It's similar in that we're going to stretch the front part of our thigh again, our quadricep, but it's different in the manner in which we're going to do it. So rather than moving rapidly, all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my foot, pull it back towards my butt. You can see my thigh is perpendicular to the floor or slightly back. And I'm going to hold this stretch for 30 seconds. And if you need the assistance of a chair like what I'm doing, you can do that. If you don't need a chair, then don't use a chair, okay? So I'm going to stretch one side. And once 30 seconds has gone by, I'll switch legs. It's that simple. Okay, what we're going to do, you saw me stretch. Now we're going to stretch together. If I see anything I need to point out, I probably won't have to. It's pretty straightforward. I'll let you know. But let's go. 30 seconds. Good. All right. So just like what we did with our dynamic stretching, we're going to use our partner. And rather than have one person work at a time, you're both going to work at the same time. But what's going to happen is you'll count down or count up to 30. Okay, so that way we know we hold that stretch for at least 30 seconds. That's the minimum that we want to do whenever we do a static stretch, okay? Minimum of 30 seconds. I'll walk around. If anybody needs help, I'll work with you, okay? All right, go. And again, just like with my dynamic stretches, I have multiple stretches listed for static stretches. For the sake of time, I'm just demonstrating how I would teach one, but this is the same technique I would use to teach all of them. You can see them in the lesson plan. All right, guys, that was great. So what we'll do tomorrow at the beginning of class, before we even warm up, I'm going to call on 3 of you, and you can use help from your partner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to give me 2 reasons why we warm up and 2 reasons why we cool down. Great job today, guys.